Hello, ho, 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 ho. Today is December the 12th, 2022. Trading and investing of any kind carries risk. Everything discussed here is for entertainment purposes only and not to be taken as financial advice. Because I don't give advice. So let's talk about the stock market. And I don't mean like your mama jokes. So, what do we have going on? Well, first and foremost, like, subscribe, tell the people, comment if you want to, set that notification bell if you want to hear me on the regular. But anyway, let's talk about the market. So we have had a crazy amount of consolidation over the last while in this area. It has been a lot. So what are the potential scenarios for what this market can do? Because tomorrow we have CPI. And then Wednesday we have Santa Claus Powell coming to speak to us, right? So let's take a look at this. So big picture, as I'd mentioned before, there are a couple of things that are possibilities that could pan out. Now we will have to, once again, like I'd mentioned before, we will have to get through this trend line with force. Like it's going to take some, I don't know if I can even say that on this. Anyway, I'm not going to say that in case there's copyright stuff. But anyway, going to have a lot of force that's got to get through that. So what are the potentials? Well, we have a couple. We have this pie in the sky up here that takes us, in the 440s to 450s. Sorry, no, we don't. It takes us to, right around 440. So 437, 438, 440, something like that. Then we have this smaller pattern here that could take us, as I'd mentioned previously, up around 415 to 420. So those are some options. So this particular pattern, I mean, it could actually continue on as well. It could continue on as like a shark pattern. So fun times. So let's look at other patterns in the meantime that we could possibly set up here as well. So if we were to zoom in just to this consolidation we've been looking at, there are a handful of things that are possibly setting up here. So we have this bat pattern, and then we have this, smaller butterfly pattern. Not sure how well you can see that. Let's zoom in. There we go. Let's change the whole thing here. Nope. Let's change it to red. That works. Okay. So a couple of patterns there setting up. All right. So very possible. But this one takes us back up here to this resistance here. So why is that important? I'll get to that in a second. This other one could help us break out, could help us push. And honestly, if we could push through this with some force, I don't know if 407, I mean, 407 would just be really a reversal spot, right? A potential reversal zone. Kind of like this wick here, right? We popped through, got that big wick, kind of came back down, reverse, we stayed under. We could actually push this pattern right up around to here-ish, give or take. Let's just call it 412. Possibility as well. And then we have these other patterns that we previously looked at, that take us to the 415 to 420 range. So 415 to 420 range here. There's a lot up here. There's definitely a lot up here. Do I think we're gonna, on CPI numbers, break through that? I don't know. I don't know what the CPI is gonna say, right? All we can do is look at what's up here and kind of go from there. So let's just say that maybe there's something that's not good tomorrow. Because ultimately, the reason I say tomorrow, ultimately, I think we're going to break through this through the end of the year. I don't think we're going to stay up there forever. I do think we're going to get a bit of a rally. Now, I might be wrong. And again, I'll only trade it when I see it. But a possibility of something that could absolutely happen is going to be we get this pattern that plays out, right, pushes us up to this resistance here, which actually lends itself well to a head and shoulders that will take us back down, right? And how far will it take us down? Who knows? But if you were to look a bit left, you know, you have stopping points. You have this point here, right? And we've definitely had some signals for these areas. So we could, you know, come down to around this area here, find some support around 386 or so, even a little bit further, all the way down to, I would say, you know, 381, 380, it's even possible. I guess even lower is possible if we want to get technical. But if we want to turn around and we want to, you know, kind of break through and actually get some kind of force going through here, I would say that, you know, we've definitely picked enough of it up in this area. So, I mean, it's very possible that tomorrow we could just start pushing. Now, I really honestly would like to see a pullback first. I would like to see us pull back down. I just don't know how far we'll be able to pull down before we turn around and go. So we'll just have to see. There's been a lot of money coming in this area, so it's not impossible for us to do either or both. So, and I know that's not very clear, but these are the kind of things that I'm looking for. These are the things that I've drawn out that I'm, you know, kind of watching to see what comes in tomorrow, see what happens. You know, if we get some maybe, I mean, these are complete what ifs, right? I mean, we could get a run up tonight and in the morning, CPI comes out, pulls us, right? And then Santa Claus Powell comes on and, you know, says great things about how amazing everything looks for the end of the year, and it just pumps us, right, and pushes us straight through. You know, I wouldn't necessarily think we're going to get a 30 or 40 point push, but doesn't mean we couldn't start pushing, right, for a longer push into the new year up to those levels on these other patterns. And then, you know, when people finally acknowledge and accept the fact that we are in a recession, or the economy is not, it's not good, then, you know, we do that ultimate pull down and kind of see what happens, right? To those older patterns that take us down to retraces of like the 320 area, you know, we'll have to see how that goes in the long run. So, but in the short term, that's kind of what I'm looking for. You know, on this move up, maybe a bit of a move down into these areas, you know, I'll pop back up. But honestly, if we don't get the pullback, I'm not going to be really sad about it. It would be nice, but, you know, I'm not going to be sad about it because we still could just push into these patterns. So outside of that, I'm trying to see if there's anything else that I've noodled over that might actually be important. And I can't really think of anything off the top of my head. I'm sure something will come to me after I stop this video. But either way, yeah, that's kind of where my head is. So yeah, I guess we will see what happens tomorrow. And then, you know, if we actually get some real movement, maybe I'll make another one. I don't typically make a lot of videos if we're just consolidating, because we're just consolidating. So, you know, I try to be better about it, and maybe I will in the future. We shall see. But for now, that's pretty much all I have. So I will see everybody next time.